everybody. My name is Patty Pryor. I just want to thank you all for coming tonight. I want to thank the library for having me. I am a woman who is on a mission. I want to learn as much as I can about plants and flowers and gardening. It's my passion. It always has been. So about 8 years ago, I became a floral designer. I studied at North Shore Community College, and I worked at Noonan's, and I worked my way up. And I just learned as much as I can about cut flowers, about floral design. And I try to use design at my home all the time, and I did the Books in Bloom design. I do not work at Noonan's any longer because I had a college-age daughter who had to go off, and I had to earn some extra money. So I became a HR administrator over at the Holy Family Hospital in Haverhill. So that's what I do. So that's I consider my side job. This is what I really would want my real job to be, but I don't get paid for that. So what we're going to talk about tonight are the house plants that we love. And I'm talking about this as a plant enthusiast. I'm not a plant expert, all right? I just want to make sure everybody knows that. But I also wanted you to come here with your tips and tricks and anything that you may share with the group. That's why I named this demo, Let's Talk Houseplants. I want this to be an interactive type of crowd, all right? So as I'm showing something, somebody might want to say, geez, I do it this way. That's fine. There's no right or wrong way with houseplants, even gardening, any type of activity that includes any type of plants, all right? So I just want to make sure that you all feel comfortable that you're here to learn something that I've picked up along the way. Maybe you can share what you've picked up along the way. I know we have a book club in my neighborhood, and a couple friends are included in that, and we talk about recipes and books and movies all the time, and we share so many different ideas. So I thought maybe this is what I'm going to do here at this talk. Share ideas. So all of you must love houseplants or feel that you're a brown thumb maybe, and that's why you're here tonight. I don't know why. All right, so we got some thumbs up, thumbs down, okay. So you're here to learn some tips. All right, I'll do my best. And if I can't answer any questions, again, not an expert, I'm going to write down the questions. I'm a good researcher. I will research the questions, and I will get back to you. I'm going to supply the answers on the website of the library. So I've got somebody, Michelle's going to take the questions that I can't answer, and we'll get back to you on that. What I have found is what is so indispensable to me is this book. When I became a floral designer, everybody thought I knew everything about houseplants. I didn't, but that didn't mean I couldn't find out what they needed to know. So I actually bought this book. Barnes & Noble, one of the bookstores, was going out of business, and this was on the shelf, and it has been indispensable to me, as you can see on my stickies. It is a troubleshooting guide. It has a nice history. It talks about everything from lighting, temperature, which we'll talk about later, how to get rid of insects, how to decorate with plants, how to pot plants. Everything you need to know is in this book, and we have it here at the library too. Okay, so it's actually over there. I saw it a couple years ago when I was doing some research on floral design. So this book is here at the library, but this is my favorite book. I know a lot of folks probably have their own guides they may use. You may be a gadget person, which I'm not. I'm a real techie. I did have to Google a few things last night when I was finishing up my research for this talk, and I'll tell you, it was indispensable. I wanted to find out the difference, what's better, a clay or plastic pot. Just put that in Google, came right up. So don't forget the internet too. If you have access to computers, you've got your phone on you, whatever. That's a great resource. But the old-fashioned woman in me loves a book. We're in the library, we're going to talk about books, all right? But don't forget, there's always some place where you can find an answer to a question. So we've got all those books back there. There are books on terrariums, succulents, everything, right here in your library. So definitely, if you can find this one at one point, go for it. But all that. All right, so this is only my second talk at the library. I talked about floral design in the fall, so please bear with me. I really appreciate your patience with me. I am a little nervous, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm concerned that somebody's going to ask me a question that I will absolutely be floored on, so I apologize again if I can't answer, but I will supply the answer to you in the next couple days. What I'm going to talk about is the plants here, some of the tools that I love, what I use to kind of bring plants to a different level. I'm going to talk about some potting mix that I love. I actually, over here for, you know, some type of a visual, a tactile thing, I've got some samples of soil. What's dry, what my interpretation of dry soil is, what I think is the perfect medium consistency for when something's watered, and obviously something that's wet. So I just thought this would be a good idea if anybody wanted to like get an idea, because when you read dry soil, what is dry soil? Somebody might think this is dry soil. That's not dry soil, okay? If you have a plant that needs dry soil, you might think, oh, it should look like this. No, really, this is not dry soil. This is dry, doesn't clump. Sorry about the mess. But, so that's, I wanted to bring that and show you that. All right, so, history of houseplants. Plants were used for medicinal purposes when the monks were in the monasteries. People didn't have windows. They might have had colored windows, so light couldn't get in. So once clear glass kind of came into play, people started bringing plants indoors. And then during the Victorian era, all right, usually when Queen Victoria took over, people wanted to show their status. So if you could afford to have plants in your home, you were rich, all right? And they only had a few different plants that they used in those days because the lighting wasn't that great. So they used palms and aspidistra and sansevieria, which is that mother-in-law's tongue, the snake plant. Does everybody know what that one is? That will never die. My father found one in the trash, gave it to my sister. It lived for 10 more years. She loved it. I think finally she just got sick of it. But it is one of the most hardiest plants ever. And there's another plant called the cast iron plant. When I was doing my research as well, it's a plant that it used to be very popular in bars because it could just adapt to that smoky, dark bar room. So they were in bars a lot. So anyways, so then plants evolved, you know, terrariums were very popular during the Victorian era. And then, you know, all through the 20th century, plants were part of our house, especially in the 70s, the 60s and 70s. That's when my mother had the famous spider plant. Did everybody have a spider plant at one time? Yeah, the macrame, remember the macrame? The beading, okay, the rubber plant. My mother had a ton of them. That's where I got my joy for plants in the 70s. She had so many. My grandmother had many African violets that she would just have thriving on her windowsill. Every time I got one. Anybody have luck with African violets? Oh, Susie, you might give us some tips at the end. All right. So the African violet, I'm gonna admit, not my favorite. Another plant that I know Susie loves because she's a friend of mine is the orchid. Does everybody love orchids or hate orchids? I hate to use that word. Love, hate? Love, hate? Susie loves orchids, so hopefully she'll give us a tip. I actually have one good tip I'm going to give at the end about orchids. Orchids are so beautiful, so delicate, so expensive. I know in Trader Joe's they have some fabulous orchids at a very good price. I love them. I think I just don't have a passion for them because I don't know how to take care of them, so I think Susie will give us a nice tip at the end, which she taught me last week when I was talking to her about my talk. So, anyways, so now here we are, and plants, enthusiasm for plants has come back. I don't know if you've all read, in every magazine I read now, I get Better Homes and Garden and Homes Beautiful, and everything is about houseplants now. I think this generation has discovered that houseplants have so many different have so many different purposes in our homes, all right? Everybody knows they're there for beauty, right? They're there to purify the air, okay? They are there to nurture you. They're healing. Plants can be used to stimulate memory, all right? They use them in a lot of nursing homes for Alzheimer's patients. Just having a plant will bring back a memory. A smell of a flower, as we all know, brings back memories. So plants have, and besides home decor, there are all those different reasons why we have plants in our homes. For nutrition, people, my daughter was saying, why don't you bring some basil plants? And I said, yeah, I'm going to stick with these types of plants, but some people have parsley basil growing. I know I grow it on my deck in the summer, which I had a lot of luck last year. So a lot of people have them in their homes as well, on their windowsills. So there are a lot of different reasons why we have plants. So I'm glad you're here to share your ideas, to listen to me talk and all that. So what I like to do is to know why the plants do well. So we look at light, the most important thing a plant needs. Somebody might say water. Absolutely, light is number one. All right, in my research. What happens with the light, and that's why it's so critical that you have your plant in the appropriate area for light. All right, what I can't stress enough is that when you get a plant as a gift, when you're shopping for a plant, if you're looking for a plant for your kitchen window and it gets direct light all day, and you bring home a plant that says indirect sunlight, that plant is not going to thrive. So if you take anything away from me today, read the tag on the plant, all right? The little plastic tag. Where are they? I've got one right here. Okay. Everyone knows the plastic tag. Right? Read it. So get the plant that is appropriate for the spot that you want to put the plant in. Again, you take anything away from this talk today, that's the most important thing I want you to remember. I know you might say, well, I want a succulent on my thing, but I want it in my dark, on the shelf in my family room. It's not going to grow there. It needs its light. It needs air circulation. Get a fake one. This is fake.
Oh, good one.
Okay? This is real, but that's fake. All right? Hobby Lobby has the best fake artificial plants I've ever seen in my life. This isn't a talk about silks or fake plants, but I'm going to tell you, nobody needs to know that your succulents aren't real. Because they're expensive. Those are $4.99 each. This one was $4.99 each. Just to talk a little bit about price. This was $2.99. This is never going to die on me. Everyone's going to think I'm a superstar. Yes?
What do you call indirect light?
We're going to talk about light in a second. That's perfect. Okay. I brought my curtain. Huh? Is there a curtain?
Is that it over got a colored one?
It's not in my book. So, I'll get to that in a second. Let me just talk about light for a second because I was so excited because I took out my old notebooks from when I was at school for floral design. And I had a teacher who was so enthusiastic about teaching us about plants. He talked 3 weeks about a leaf. 3 weeks about a leaf. So, of course I didn't appreciate it back then, but I do now because I'm talking about it. But what happens is the sun, the light, your leaves absorb light, okay? So this leaf absorbs light from the sun, creates energy, all right? So this plant is creating energy. It's creating heat. And what happens, the energy comes in on the top of the leaf, just to put it simply, it's called transpiration, photosynthesis. Has anybody heard of that? I won't quiz you. So, the photosynthesis comes in, the chloroplast, everything in the cells of these plants. There's a lot going on we don't see. Comes in the top. CO2, all right, comes in. Your plants breathe out as well. The O2 comes out. That's how your plant supplies the fresh O2, the oxygen in your home. That's how it purifies it. But what it needs the photosynthesis to happen. That's why the light is needed for the plants. You might see plants going toward the light. If this plant needs more light, it's going to look for it. Okay, so has anybody seen a plant kind of,
Yes.
right? So it's saying, I need to be there. I need more light. So that's critical.
The light moves. I mean,
The light does move, all right?
It's
So-
not a 24-hour light.
No, we don't want 24-hour light. No, we don't want 24-hour light because that's way too much. This plant might need 8 hours of light. This one might need 4 hours of light, all right? So as I said, you want to get the plant that's going to go in the spot that is appropriate for that plant. All right, one thing. Who knows where the south side of their house is? Anybody? Oh, I am very impressed. All right, I brought my phone with my little compass. I said, you know what? What's the south side of this building? It's over this way.
Yeah.
So that's critical to know where the sun is coming up and coming down to. So most of you folks know I'm a smart crowd here. Maybe you should get a scan of the crowd on the TV. So, what happens is you want to make sure, we'll say this plant needs 12 hours. It's going to be sitting in a spot that's going to get as much sun as it can because it's going to be creating all that heat and that energy. And during the day, it's going to be working hard. You're going to be watering. It's going to go back and forth called xylem and phloem. The cells are moving. Water's moving up and down, creating sugars and everything for the plant. So you want to make sure it's getting the light. Water's number 2. I think everybody has that question. How much should I water? Am I right? I have people that tell me all the time, God, I just don't know, I just don't get it. Well, my tip for that is read the plastic card. Follow the plastic card. But look up what you might need. This is another one, okay? This is my arrow plant. This is one I'm going to show you how to kind of make it a little more upscale later on. But this needs to be moist all the time. So I know that. So I am going to keep my little watering can available. Every day I walk by my plants and I feel the soil. You don't want to stress it out because if this gets too dry, how many people see this? That's saying I'm stressed. Give me something to drink. As we all probably know that. But every day, again, nurturing, healing. It's your companion. It's there to help you as you're there to help it, okay? So, water second, okay? Light, water, temperature.
How much fertilizer?
Well,
And is liquid better than?
I just found this, which I'm thrilled.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Has anybody got this one yet?
Yeah,
No.
Don't have to measure, don't have to do anything.
yeah.
A pump.
It
Right
says indoor, right?
It's indoor, we're
It's
talking indoor
indoor,
plants.
yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
You don't have to measure. Who wants to, I don't. Who wants to get out that miracle, which I'm a miracle girl. Jax, this is new.
So
And
I
you've
just
got
put it in my watering can.
You can do that as well, yes. This one pumps right into the soil,
Okay, yeah.
right into the
but-
soil. But
yeah.
yes, you can put,
Mhm.
well, again, what I always say, fertilizer is great. You're gonna have fertilizer in your potting soil. So if you repot something, you're gonna have, most of the potting soils have fertilizer in them. So if you're gonna repot something, according to everything I've been reading, wait 6 weeks before you fertilize.
Okay.
Great time to fertilize, just like outside, spring and in the fall. Plants are plants. They go dormant. You might find a plant in the winter months kind of sitting there, geez, I don't see any new growth. How come it's not growing? Because it's asleep. In the springtime, you might say, oh, I noticed a little growth. That's kind of odd because it's the springtime. Summer, it follows just like the plants outside. So you kind of got to get that mindset as well. All right?
So vermiculite, is that good to put in there?
Vermiculite is great because it adds aeration to the soil.
Okay.
So your soil's not going to get compact and the roots can't move.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
All these soils are pre-mixed. And they have, this one's a good one because I love because it's got worm casings, which is really good. It's kind of a natural fertilizer. So this is a good one. I'm not here to promote any special product. This is one I just happen to like. But yes, best things to have, vermiculite, soil, and some type of compost or natural if you're gonna go. That's mostly outside, but you need something natural like a fertilizer in there. This has got the worm casings, which helps.
Okay.
But the fertilizer is an extra nutrient. They're getting nutrients, believe it or not, from the light. The water is helping the nutrients move
Yeah.
through the plant. And then the fertilizer is giving extra nutrients to help with
You
growth.
say fertilize it twice a year?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Read the card, all right?
Well, if you
But-
get something that somebody
Yeah.
gave you, there's no cost.
There's no card, okay. Well, that's where you get my book. This is what's so good about it. That looks like,
And tell me, that has.
well, I'm gonna have to look at my, does anybody know what this
Shuffle
is? There we go.
The what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fertilized it the other day with Miracle Grow,
Yeah.
and it's grown about 2 inches since I've had it for a year and a half.
Happy plant.
But shouldn't it be bigger than that?
I'm gonna look at my, when we're finished, I didn't know anybody was gonna bring plants on.
Well, I called up and asked.
No,
and
that's
they
okay.
said, "Bring
No,
one."
no,
I
no.
brought
My
one.
point is, I have my book. This is why
Oh.
I bring my book, because we're
Oh.
gonna look that up and we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're gonna save that to the end. That's why I bring my book. That's why,
That's also amazing that it grew for you so fast, so
Yes,
that's
because
telling
I
you
killed
something.
an aloe plant.
Aloe's tough.
Aloe
Aloe's
is, no,
tough.
aloe's tough.
A lot of
But
people
You
overwater
have a
aloe. Yeah,
relationship
aloe's
now
tough.
with your plant.
It looks okay, all right.
You
Yeah.
have a relationship with your plant.
Yeah. See,
See,
it's your companion. It's gonna love you.
And it responded to you taking care of it.
Be careful.
It's
with that,
nurturing.
though.
Again.
I have a sister-in-law, her chevrolet took over her living room.
All right, we're gonna look at the light. I wanna see where you keep it. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk.
All right.
All right.
And I have a big one to give you from the hospital.
All right. So we'll go back to light again because I brought my little curtain. So I know this is simple. Direct light. This is direct light. Again, if it's a south side wind, you're gonna get a lot of light here. So it might get 8 hours in the summer. It might even get 10. So you wanna be conscious of that. If this is direct light, only 4 hours, maybe not be a great spot in the summer. You might wanna move the plant during the year. So you have to remember that too. You have to remember your houseplants are also susceptible to the seasons. All right, don't forget that. It's critical. So direct light, remember, what season? Summer. Oh, this could use 10 hours. Oh, I'm gonna leave it here. If it's the winter, may not get enough. Sometimes fluorescent lights will give you that extra light. They're warmer. They're much better than the ones in our home. That's why a lot of plants thrive in offices because the fluorescent light has a warmer light. It's not heating the plant as our lights in our homes do. That's why a lot of plants do well in offices because of the fluorescent. Did anybody know that one? It's kind of interesting too. So direct, indirect, kind of nice, maybe a little too far. Filtered. This is filtered. Okay, you got a curtain there? That's filtered light. So you're gonna get not the heat, but you'll get some light through the filtration. So even a curtain, a shade that's letting some of the light through. Yes.
I just wanted to throw out there about
Yes.
additional light in the winter. There's some new LED lights out there that are available for growing plants that are fantastic, that are just, some of them are so extreme they can make your room look like a bordello. I have a what do you call it, a seed light, seed growing light
Yep.
that gives this really lurid red light. But boy, the plants love it. But you can hold the light bulb on in your hands. There's no heat at all.
Wow.
So you can put it really close to the plants without burning them from the heat. Although you know it has UV rays, so you don't want to have it too close because you can still sunburn them. But some of the new LEDs, and they're not very expensive as opposed to some of the big long, and they're not as fragile because they're in these big housings as opposed to the compact fluorescents.
Wonderful.
So it's worth going online and looking at grow lights, LED grow lights.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, so light, water, temperature. Again, that falls in with the light. If something is too cold, it's not gonna grow properly. So again, with that tag, if you can't find all the information on the tag, go online, begonia, look up begonia. What temperature for begonia? Look it up online. Come to the library if you need some help on the computer. Because it might say it needs a very warm area, like a bathroom will say, where a shower will be on it. That is the type of atmosphere, the temperature it may want. If you bring in something, I was just talking to somebody earlier, they bring their plants out onto a porch. So now it's summertime, you want to get the fresh air, you want to have them maybe in a warmer climate. I had a palm last summer that I bought at Stop and Shop. It was fabulous. It thrived all summer on my deck. It just got enough light. Everything was perfect. I barely watered it. It's dead in my garage right now. And my daughter said, don't tell everybody your palm's dead. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I don't want anybody to think that I'm perfect. So I had it in this room. I think it was just too warm. So the joy of plants is that I can experiment too. So have fun. I think if you want to be part of the house plant world and have them in your home, have fun with them. Don't be stressed out about them. If you are, get the fake ones. Never. And I have plenty around my house. I have a lot of, I use them for decor, obviously. I have them Boston ferns and some orchids that I love. They're absolutely stunning silks. And I just enjoy them all year, so I never stress about them. They're lovely. But again, we're here to talk about houseplants that are live. So let me just check my notes, folks, because this is my first one. All right, we've talked about the important thing, the nutrients. All right, we talked about fertilization. I've got, again, I think twice a year for the bigger plants, but again, read the instructions on your booklet. My favorite thing is this new pump version. I wasn't fertilizing some of my plants because that Miracle box, I had to measure, it was driving me crazy. I couldn't stake it. This pump thing has been great. I just pump it into the soil. The directions are on the back. This I found at Wolf Hill. They had a fabulous section of houseplants materials. Fabulous. I was so thrilled. I got some other things. I got this wonderful Soil Moist, which is like a bead. I literally put a quarter of a teaspoon. You can feel these later if you want. I'll put this up. These are like water soluble. They're non-toxic. That you put in the base, and we'll do it later, the base of your plant when you're repotting something, so it will make sure that your plants get plenty of water, all right? So they'll constantly have that water, so in case you forget to water, you'll have these nice little soil moist granules in there, and it will keep your plants from stressing out. Because if they need that water, and you're not providing it, you're not tending to it, they're gonna stress out. Sometimes they don't come back from that stress. Hey, Bonnie, they don't come back. This is my favorite, because this thing, if it stresses, I have seen, not this one particularly, has anybody seen, completely gone. You water it, it's back.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
So this is one of my top 5.
I did kill one though.
What? All right, you've got to really listen here. No, that's okay. That's the joy of it. This one though is my favorite. My daughter said, "Mom, what are you gonna?" I said, "My top 5. This is gonna be one of them because
What is it?
this is spath. I call it a spath. Susie, do you know the?
I call it a peace lily.
Yeah, peace lily. Some people call it a sail plant. It's a spath or something. I've got the name. Oh, I wanted to preface by saying, please don't ask me any of the Latin terms. I do not know any Latin names. I call them by their kind of nicknames. The sail plant. People call them different things, but I call it a spath. It's wonderful. This one, we're going to repot this one in a few minutes. I forgot where I was going. Anyways, so the granules are great. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about pests.
Systemics.
Well, Susie, you can help me next time. I looked at my booklet, and I know pests can be a pest. Pains. A couple different things. A lot of people might be naturalists, okay? A couple different things you can use. You can get your spray bottle. This one just has water, but you can put a couple drops of ivy liquid. I use Dawn, it doesn't matter. If you see some flying bugs around your plants, spray this. This will kind of drop them, kind of dry it, they won't be able to fly, they'll dry out, they will die on you. This is more of a natural way to go about it. This is a nice insecticidal soap, which again, I got it, I'm not pushing anything, but Wolf Hill just had such a great supply of houseplant stuff. I told them I'm gonna give them a plug. And I left the price on too, it's only $6.98. So this was great. I talked to, I think his name is Jim there. He said this is fabulous. If you have an infestation, and it tells you all types of things that it takes care of, they have a number 8. It's called number 8. So it's very strong, but he said this one should do the trick for anybody who has some common pests. Now if you have spider mites, big issue if you have spider mites. They're really hard. They very hard to see. You may not know you have them. You might notice some prick marks in your plants. What they do is they take their, like a pin, they're so small, they kind of suck the juices from your leaves. You may look underneath, you might see something that looks like cottony type of webbing. Spider mites can be tough. If you have an infestation, you might have to toss the plants, okay? They're just, the only recommendation I can have for spider mites is that if you're not sure, you see something on your plants, get a piece of white paper, kind of like shake the leaves, and these little black dots will fall. Okay, look under, they have their little webbing. This one doesn't have it, but underneath the leaves. So the spider mites aren't fun. Get rid of the plant. Again, the joy, they don't cost, they you know, these are budget-friendly plants, but some of them they can get expensive. But the spider mites can be tough. Mealybugs, you can get rid of with alcohol, put them on a cotton swab, even like a gauzy cotton thing, and kind of wipe them off. What was the other one? Spider mites, mealybugs and aphids. You can get rid of alcohol, which again, everyone has in their homes, I would hope, but those are kind of things you can use to get rid of those, just wipe them down. I always believe in giving your plants a good shower as well. If you've got some things that you're not aware of, just put them in the shower. If you don't want to put the shower on them, just fill up your big watering can and give them a nice soaking. Never hurts your plants. It also flushes out some salts, which you should do. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that can really help. All right? You've got a fungus growing on your plants, kind of in your soil. You're noticing some mold and fungus. Sorry, folks, not much you can do with that. With fungus, they usually try to have a preventive type of situation. They really don't have anything to get rid of fungus once it's started because the spores, there's just so many. So again, you might want to toss those. But those are usually the most common pests. This book really does a great job with giving you some direction on how to handle any type of insects that you may have. So again, any guide, any Google search you could help you out. But I just want to kind of go over those little bit of the most common problems. All right, I'm going to talk about a little bit about diagnoses. We're going to talk about your plant in a little bit at the end. But just, people ask me all the time, well, the tips are all brown, am I overwatering? Well, it could be many, it's just like a doctor. Sometimes you have to look things over. I always like to ask questions. When you have brown tips, you might be using water that our water here in Georgetown can, be a hard water. I use my Brita, sometimes my Brita filter with certain delicate plants, so it's kind of filtered out some of the hard water contaminants that we do have. But I think Georgetown water supply has really improved over the years. People, say that again?
You haven't been here long, it was wonderful when we first.
I
came,
heard
and
that.
then went down, and
I
then
heard it
came
used to
back.
be the
Always wanted
place
it?
to get, I heard people used to come up here to fill up water jugs.
Yeah.
Well,
I've only been here 23 years,
Oh,
so I'm sorry, I'm a newbie.
Yeah, you're.
No, but I did hear that.
Yes.
Has anybody else heard that? I think we've talked to you guys, no?
Yes.
I heard it was the place.
So it's well watered.
Oh, well, no.
Well,
It
just
was
a
tap
stream.
water.
Yeah, I did hear that, I have heard.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
40 years ago.
All right, so, I just want to read my little notes here. All right, so brown, it could be erratic watering, so you're watering what? Well, every 10 days. It's going, Mom, please, come on, Dad, please. Water me more frequently. Follow my plastic tag, please. Let me just see it. Okay, overfeeding. So I would err of not feeding. Make sure it's getting the right light so it's getting its natural nutrients. Okay? I also believe, I don't like to look at brown tips, drives me crazy. You could absolutely trim off those brown tips. You don't have to look at them, just trim them off. I didn't take my scissors off, but my tip is, if you've got a pointy tip like this, don't cut it straight across. It's not gonna look good. Cut it like a tip. Literally trim it. I think it looks lovely. No one will ever know. Also, just be careful when you're cutting on a leaf and you're cutting that brown tip off. Don't cut too much into the green. Try to stay on the brown, right on the edge, because you might damage the healthy structure of the leaf, okay? But trim it off. Nobody's gonna know. All right? So please do that. If I come over to your house and look at your houseplants, I don't see any brown tips. But again, I may have another demo in a couple months, maybe just strictly on people bringing more plants in, saying, let's have a diagnosis night. Let's see what's going on. So I may do that. I'm gonna think about that. All right, any questions? Anybody else? No?
How often do you repot a plant?
We're gonna repot in a few
How
minutes.
often do
All
you?
right, this is where, I'm gonna show you. I bought this the other day. Do you think that needs to be repotted?
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Where'd you get that?
I'm not gonna say,
Okay.
but it looks pretty darn healthy, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
So I'd like
So-
to be pot down.
Some plants like it.
Yeah,
I-
clean
This is what, I bring a plant home, I pull it out, and I say, this definitely needs to be repotted. I think this is gonna go in a pot,
Not too much, not too much.
okay, good, I might not have brought my pot. All right,
Once.
I think when you feel,
Would you like hot? I have.
no. Oh, I can't believe it. I was so prepared. I left my pot at home.
I'll get you
I
hot.
Oh,
can't believe it. Oh my gosh!
Were you looking at that blue one?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
not
a-
here.
that's a-
It's on my dining room table. Look at all the stuff I brought. I forgot the pot to repot the plant. So anyways, I don't have a clear answer for that. I think if I brought this home and I'm gonna repot this in a pot, that's gonna be 1.5, maybe 2 times more okay? I'm gonna maybe look at it and look at the bottom and see if those roots are coming out through the hole, all right? That's a key indicator too, when the roots are popping through, if you've got drainage holes, if you think it's not thriving, if you wanna change the pot. I really don't think there's a definite answer to that. I think if you think it's outgrown the pot, because if you see a plant, hopefully that thing's gonna thrive one day for you and be like your friends, maybe you might wanna repot it and get it out of that
In a
one.
bigger pot.
And
I've
it
done
always go
once.
bigger.
I have
Not so.
put it in a bigger pot than.
We want the
once.
roots to have plenty of room to stretch their feet. Okay, I did this last night. I took it out where I left the pot on the dining room table, and I started doing this. Now look, do you think this definitely wants to stretch its
Right.
legs?
Too big.
Oh, that'd be great.
Too big?
That white one
Oh,
would
there's a
work. I'm
small
gonna
one.
take the white one. Yeah, that's fine. Can you bring it up? Can you okay.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're not.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
They don't get it.
So, I don't know if you can see, but this is really gonna do well here. It's really gonna do well. I think it's gonna be super. So, we'll go into potting plants because this is gonna be a great segue for this. So, what I started to do, again, this is what it was in, and that's what it's gonna go. And I think this is gonna be so happy with me. And I brought some paper, but I'm just using my little board here. All right, so, of course, my famous tools that I use. All right, I like to be gentle. I love forks. I got my fork.
So you aerating too, Patty?
I am just being very gentle, and I'm loosening these roots. I am making it ready so it doesn't. Do you ever pull up a plant that you repotted and it completely looks exactly the same as when you potted it? Excuse me. It just needed to be loosened up a little. It needs to stretch out. All right. Sorry, Michelle's getting a little dirty here, but. So,
I've been repotting for the last 3 days, like
Oh,
it's filthy.
good. so
Didn't
I'm
do it for
using
me.
my little fork here. You can use whatever tool you feel comfortable with to repot this. Look at this. And it's okay if a couple of these roots, look at this one. Look at that.
Wow, isn't this that's so interesting.
Just cut it off.
I used to use my hands, but I love using a fork.
Use whatever. Okay. One thing I love about plants, I'm gonna be a little rough with this, but it's not gonna be mad at me. It's gonna be very happy. That's my little plant. I need some water. Sorry. All right. And what's gonna happen? We need something at the bottom. Because if we just put soil, I'm sure you all know, stones, pebbles, anything so the soil's not coming through the holes. It gives the water a nice place to kind of drain out of. Your roots aren't sitting in water. We don't want root rot. So what I've come up with, which I have so many of these, I don't know if anybody else drinks wine, but I'm using wine corks.
What a great idea. I never
So-
thought of either.
Well, it's a great way to use your wine corks. Drink more wine if you have more plants.
It's also lighter than stone.
Again, it's lighter. I know a lot of folks use on the outside plant, they use the packing peanuts, but they're not using the packing peanuts that much. So I think the corks are great. Again, you can use pebbles, marbles, anything that you may have at home. I brought some sea glass, but I'm not gonna waste my beautiful sea glass on that. But you know, marbles that I may not be using anymore, these little things. Anything to kind of give the pot,
You covered the bottom, the entire
cover the bottom so all that soil's not kind of leaking out, and it doesn't. Another reason why, if all of the soil's on those holes, sometimes it will get compacted, so it won't drain properly. So we want to have some drainage. The corks are great because we're gonna let that
You ever
drain.
use a coffee filter?
Huh? I've heard of the coffee filter. Yeah, you put the coffee filter first.
Yeah, and then put the pebbles on top of the coffee filter.
Great idea.
that's
There
a
we
great
go.
idea.
Thank you. That's a great idea. I love it.
Or drink a lot of wine before you repot, right?
Or drink wine while you're potting. Yeah, you gotta do that.
The wine before the cut.
Yeah. This is my favorite little scooper, but I'm gonna just pour it for ease of. So obviously I'm just gonna pour it a bit. It's all
You could
fun.
have a cork drive at work,
See,
right?
a little low. This is where I'm gonna put my little soil mugs. Not at the top, because you'll have all the, you gotta feel these later. You'll have all these at your top. You do not want these on the top. You want them right down here, so when the water goes down, the water will be absorbed by these little granules, and they'll be there to release moisture when your plant is thirsty. All right, so your plant won't be stressed and it won't be mad at you. Your spath isn't gonna be falling over. Just a little, yeah, mix it a bit.
Are you halfway in the pot, would you
It's hard to
say?
see. I wish I had one of those. Can I have one of those
She's
TVs?
like
No,
a
I'm kidding.
Third, okay, third, that's all.
But yeah, third. You don't
Third.
want too much close. I'm going a little higher because we want to leave at least maybe half an inch, maybe a little more, so the water, you're not going right to the top where the water's going to spill over when you water it.
That soil looks good.
Michelle, I'm so glad you had this pot. Kind of pop it down, but not too compact. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna start putting this in because these need to move. And of course, everyone knows this, the fun. If I was on my usual potting table, I would have dirt everywhere, but since I'm doing this demo, classic. Keep it in the middle, press it down a bit. Love getting dirty here. And I didn't bring any water because I don't want give it a nice, always make sure it's nice and happy.
Would you like a watering can and something to put that in so you can water it?
No, I'm good with that. Yeah, everyone knows we would water this in, just so we get any air bubbles that might be there and all that. So everyone knows that. So there's our beautiful spath. But my key with this demo was to show you how all those roots were just tangled and to loosen them up, stretch those legs. This plant's going to be very happy. It's a very healthy plant right now. I loved this plant. When I took it out of this little pot, I absolutely couldn't believe it. I was absolutely floored. So it was actually the perfect plant for my demo tonight to show you what roots look like when they're struggling and they're all compact like that. So there's our spath. All right, so I know what my tag is. My tag is somewhere for this. I think it's in my bag. I want to tell you folks, please don't keep your plastic tags in your plants.
I didn't hear what
My teacher at
She
school,
said, don't keep the plastic
Don't-
tag in the pot.
I don't want to come over at your house and see that plastic tag.
Why?
If you have 5 or 6 plants, you forget what they're called.
Oh, I totally agree with you. All right, so this is for succulents, but usually they have a little pitcher. So again, not even a tip, but what I like to do is get my little elastic and I just get all my tags. I keep them all together and I put them in my top drawer with my little clippers and everything else. So I can reference this.
I'll give you an idea
Yeah.
that somebody told me.
Go.
They punch a hole in it
Yep.
and put it on a ring. And then
Oh, that's
all
a
the
great
plants
idea.
on a ring, on a
Yeah,
metal
that's a
ring.
great idea.
I love that idea. That's super.
So Patty, what I loved is height. So one of the biggest things in potting is getting the right height, that you're not drowning your plant in the pot, and that was absolutely perfect.
That's perfect, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you, Susie, and I agree with that. And what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to show you another plan how I'm going to top this with some moss. Some folks, just to make it, a little more upscale, might put some pebbles here. Some folks will put the moss. I'm going to put the moss on this arrow plant. I've put shells. I've got some extra shells. My kids collect so many stones for me. I sometimes put stones on the plants just to hide the dirt. But this dirt is so pretty and it's nice and healthy looking. I'm going to keep it like this. Yes.
Could you do me a favor and read the card, so then what does the card say for that plant? The
My-
one in your hand, is that?
Oh,
the-
this one's for the
I-
succulent. This is for the I couldn't find my
what-
spath
oh,
card.
What's the succulent?
What it says?
Well, I was just wondering, so to help translate it for the non-grower, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what does it say? That's me.
That's
This
good.
card.
I just
This
need
card
the
says
translation for the practical.
bloom time. It's a foliage plant. That means it's really not going to flower. This one says exposure. Plant in full sun.
Okay,
We'd go right here.
okay.
All right. This is where you might want to do a little extra research and say, I just spent $15 on this plant. It says full sun. Does full sun mean 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours? I might do a little research. That's what I would do, okay? Now, next thing, water. Requires excellent drainage, drought tolerant. All right? You definitely want something with holes in it like this one had. You're gonna put a plate, of course, this is on a counter. And then you're gonna let it go this dry. And I know this dry makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Deal with it. If you buy something that says dry soil, let it go this dry.
The drought exposure.
I had a friend that said, I can't let it go that dry. I said, let it go. It'll be fine. It doesn't want to be wet. It wants to be dry. So that's that.
That's what that meant, drought.
Hardiness, yes.
Drought.
Height varies. Again, this is a succulent. There's so many different types of succulents. Hardiness, depending on variety. So that's what this plastic tag is. Love the idea about the ring. Again, Michelle?
Well, I was just gonna say about conditions of plants.
Yeah.
It's really helpful to go to a book or a website and find out where did that plant originally come from.
Yes, exactly.
Where does it like to live? Because
Yes,
if you
exactly.
find out where it likes to live and what the climate conditions are there, that's your answer.
Exactly. If something grows in the desert, it's really gonna wanna be dry. All right, so another thing that I know some people do, you can do it, it's okay. Some people get the tag and they put it in the back,
I do.
deep on the side.
Yeah.
So if I come over, I won't see your tags.
Yeah,
You
no.
can do that too.
Yeah.
You have my permission to
You
do
do
that.
it on the side or in the saucer.
So that's, again, the tag trick. So, again, I love the rings. So that's that. So this is the spat that's gonna do great. I'm gonna put it back here so I have a little more room. I'll go to my next one. This is my arrow plant. And this is where I'm gonna talk about what's a great pot, ceramic, clay, what? So this, I got a Market Basket. This was $6.99, here's my little plastic tag, okay? Medium light. Here and here. Keep soil fairly moist. I'm gonna keep it like that middle box, okay? This is a very hardy plant. It's very shiny, it's very pretty. It's variegated too, so it adds a little texture. So this has a pot in a pot, okay? This I would repot. See this? It's telling me, I don't fit here anymore. Okay, so that, I'm not gonna pull it out because I don't want more dirt. But for the purposes of what I'm gonna show you is that, okay, I really like this black pot. It came with the plant. I'm gonna leave it in there. Plastic will keep plants moist longer. So the plastic is gonna hold in the moisture. All right, so this plant needs moist soil. So I think it's good to have plastic. It goes with my decor. Black kind of blends in with everything. But if I needed a plant that needed to dry out a bit, needed some air circulation, I'm gonna go with probably a clay pot. All right, maybe not glaze. Glaze, everybody knows the glaze pot. You feel that shiny glaze on the inside. It's gonna be as porous, the air's not gonna circulate. But you know, if you have a clay pot, your soil probably dries out quicker, especially if it's outside. That's why, because it's porous, the air is circulating and all that. So I found that this pot is great. It's plastic, it's gonna work for me. It's gonna be really happy in this, but kind of boring. So I got my sphagnum moss, which I didn't forget. And this is great. I think this hides a lot of, hides everything. So, got a little, is everybody familiar with
I'm a
this?
moss girl too, I love it. Fergans too, it's beautiful.
When we worked at Union's and we were gonna send somebody playing, we always kind of hide the soil, kind of makes everything a little more professional.
Soil.
Say it again.
We all know it's
Yeah,
soil.
yeah, we all know, but we wanted to look a little
It's more
better.
decorative.
It
A
does
little more
look-
upscale. A little more upscale. Come on. All right, look, it just tears right out. Now this, $6.98. I got this at Wolffield. You can get this anywhere though. I love it. And just literally tear it. You can water over it. If it gets too wet and bogged down, please remove it and just replace it with new moss. This is hides a lot of, just kind of tuck it in, not too tight, a little casual. And then if I really wanna, geez, this plant really isn't a foliage plant. I'm gonna put this back with all my other tags. I think I want a flower in there. So I have my little water tubes, which you probably get. You get a rose or something, you get these water, I save them. You can get them at Noonan's, 25 cents each, but you put these in with water in the tube. And if you want a little decorative flower
How sweet is that?
to go in my little plant, you just put a couple of these. It'll aerate that soil too. Just kind of add a little, again, I've got my little thistle things here. I can add a couple more, but kind of add some flowers to this arrowhead plant, just a little blue. I bought these at Crosby's the other day for the plants in bloom. I didn't use it for the books in bloom, but it adds that little flower that just pops right out. You can add anything, a Gerber daisy, a rose that might be in your garden. You might want to bring it in. I don't know, just to add a little, fun to your house plants that might need a little sprucing. So that's that little flower upgrade. So that's that. Any other questions? No?
That's cute.
That was good. All right, so another trick that I love. This is in one of my top 5. Who loves this? Who doesn't love it? This I planted. I got these at Market Basket too. There are 3 plants in here. And I just put regular soil. I put my corks on the bottom because there are no drainage holes in this. So I really put the corks. I will probably change this out in the summer so the roots will have a chance to really spread and probably grow a little. But I keep this on my shelf, my windowsill. It really kept me going this winter when everything was really gray. Literally in my kitchen, behind my kitchen table.
Is that grape ivy?
It's just
English
it's just
Oh, it's
regular
English ivy.
English ivy. I am telling you, this got me through this winter. It's so hardy. It made me feel happy. I felt like it was springtime. This was the inspiration for my talk too, that I know that plants make people happy, and this one just made me happy all winter. So what I wanted to do with this one, you know what I do? I turn it every couple days because, see this? Doesn't it look like it's going in one direction? Because it's facing the window. So every couple days I'll turn it to the other side. So it's kind of growing evenly. If I didn't turn it, it all would be this way. And I wanted to have that look. So this is my beautiful, I think they were $3.99 each. I love them. But to kind of make it a little more, kind of dull, I'm going to add this, which I don't know if anybody's heard of this leaf shine. Has anybody heard of leaf shine?
Yeah.
Yeah, leaf shine is fun. I'm just going to spray a little so you can see the difference. This is something that we put on leaves because our leaves, remember we talked about light and how transpiration and all that. If you have dusty leaves, they're going to be clogged. They're not going to purify your ears. Think about it. They're taking the air in. So all the particles, the pollutants that are in our homes, they are rugs, wallpaper, clothing, furniture. They're all made from man-made items. All right, so there's a lot of pollutants that are emanate. It just is what it is. The plants in our homes purify the air for us. And again, that's why when you open your windows in the spring and in the summer, you have that fresh air. It's a different feel, isn't it? When you have those windows open. Again, that's just fact of life. It's part of living. But what the plants does is purifying the air. And if you have a lot of dust on your leaves, then you're really stressing them out. You're not letting them work to its full potential for you. And it's just, and plus they look dusty. Who wants dusty plants? So this leaf shine is great because it adds a little shine to them, so it adds some extra beauty. And it also prevents, like wax, it prevents the dust from kind of sticking. All right, so we're just gonna spray. It's called leaf shine. This is Pocon. They sell it at Market Basket too. Miracle Grow has a leaf shine. This is leaf shine. It's called by Pocon. And you just spray it. Do you know what's in it?
Probably pollutants.
I don't, Michelle, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
But let it dry, and you'll see the difference,
Yeah, you can already.
okay?
So question, Patty, is, let's say you have dust on your plants from being in all winter or
Yep.
whatever. So, and let's say that it's a huge plant, you can't stick it in your shower and hose it off. So before you actually put on the leaf shine, would you then go around it and then try to wipe off with a damp cloth?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
And then you would add your leaf shine, got it.
Absolutely,
Okay.
get your rag, wet it
Okay.
down with warm water,
Okay.
absolutely, gently. I know we have that Swiss
Yeah.
cheese palm, we have one in the hospital, it's absolutely huge. it's wonderful, and all you have to do is literally take the, I know it's a lot of work, but it's worth it if you love your plant, and your plant will be good to you. I
I mean,
just
I
feel that.
missed it and then, kind of
And you
take a
missed it?
towel and
Yeah.
just water. I mean, I don't,
And you don't have to do this. This is just
Yeah.
that extra step if you want. Again, you don't have to. I'm trying to show you what's available.
You're perking up your plant. Dressing her up.
water's natural, that is it. the green.
Exactly, and that's fine. This is just another
It's like
product
perfume.
that if you want to use, it's available for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying you have to, absolutely not.
Yeah.
This, don't use on flowering plants, do not use it on any type of plant that has hairy leaves like African violets or anything like begonias. Don't use it on anything like that. Just follow the instructions
Yeah.
and you'll be fine. So I just wanted to show you the difference.
You can see the
You'll see it,
difference.
yeah.
Yeah, you can see the difference.
So that's that. This is my, I just love this.
Really pretty, Patty.
Thank you, I thought that was great. All right. So, this dirt is driving me crazy. Do you guys mind if I just? I have to wipe this off.
Do you think there's a difference between a market basket green plant and a Noonan's or Wolf Hill green plant?
Good question.
You know?
Do I think there's, yeah,
I mean,
there is a big difference in price.
Right. No, just, and you love to go in Wolf Hill and all and see that, but, and it's lovely, but I'm just thinking if you wanted to, I go into Market Basket a lot, I think, well, that's gonna be like store brand versus,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
my guess is they're probably healthier.
This I got in Market Basket. This is how I look at a plant. Wow, leaves look great, soil looks good, price is fabulous. That to me is a good buy.
Yeah.
I went into Noonan's the other day, which I love. Their greenhouse is phenomenal. If, again, I always suggest go there in the middle of winter because
Yeah.
you're just taken
Feel hot.
back to a beautiful, it feels like you're in a tropical place. They have so many terrariums, so many succulents, so many palms, so many spider plants. They had gardenias blooming. It was a joy. It was a joy. $4.99. So I love this succulent. That's a lot of money to me when you're on a tight budget. But again, it's what you want to spend. But no, I think Noonan's does a super job with their plants. They're phenomenal. They are the best. I love Noonan's because I work there. They're right in our town. Steve Flynn is phenomenal. His family, his team is fabulous. His plants are great. So yes, their plants are great. Their outdoor plants are great. Wolf Hill, phenomenal place. They're doing wonderful. They again have wonderful outdoor plants. They don't have as many, they don't have a greenhouse. But it was funny because Noonan's had the huge greenhouse, but not much of a houseplant area. Wolf Hill had an unbelievable houseplant display of all types of products. They even had the macrame things that you could hang these in. And they didn't have any houseplants, really. It was kind of funny. But go to both, have fun, Market Basket. I love Trader Joe's. I think Trader Joe's has the best orchids ever. Their prices are phenomenal. So I think if you shop around, but I think you can't go wrong. If you feel a leaf and it looks like this, it's healthy, okay? I should, you know what, I should have brought a plant that looks really bad, huh? I probably should have, huh? I probably should have done, I'm gonna do that next time.
I
I'm gonna
could
do it
get
for time.
you several out.
Oh, jeez.
I'm totally serious.
No, don't do that, I don't wanna go down there, not yet. Maybe my next talk. Let's talk house plants too, or something.
What was the tip on orchids?
Oh, Susie, you wanna share it now? We'll talk tips in a few minutes, but if you wanna share your tip on the orchid.
No, keep going.
Oh.
I'll tell you after.
Okay. All right, we're almost, we're doing well. We have till 8 o'clock, but I'll finish up in a few minutes. Okay. This is something I did buy at Noonan's. I was waiting, this is an outdoor pansy and has 4 plants in it. Just gonna use my little box here. So this has 4 plants in it. So what I did, which I think is a great idea because I needed a little flower in my kitchen. So, planted this the other day, put a little bit of this soil, moist. I just broke up this plant. As you can see, I just literally broke it up. 4, and this is gonna go outside too, but I wanted a flower in my kitchen. I just needed it. That grayness was really tough. Great flowers. So, literally broke up my little pansy. Again, very healthy. Look at this later. It's spectacular. I've got my little tag, and I'm just gonna put this back. So, I didn't have any 6-packs yet. I just had these 4-packs. Put it in my little thing. I bought this at Stop and Shop, which I love. Came with 3 pots in this wonderful little tray. But there weren't any holes in the bottom. I was kind of bummed about that. So I said, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna poke a hole in the bottom of this pan. So I got my pot. Got my hammer.
There's my friend.
Got my hammer. I love hammers. I got my, oh, you know, I was so organized. Ah,
Now,
I had my nails. Where's my nail? All right. All right. Oh, here they are. All right. So I got my pot, my hammer. It's had a screw or a nail. The screw actually worked out pretty well. I thought it because it gave me a good grip. So I literally have fun. Poke my holes. This was $6.99 in Stop and Shop, so I really had a lot of fun with this one. A lot of aggression to be taken out. Just poked as many as I thought were fine. Now it's gonna drain on me. I was happy because I thought that was gonna be a good demo to show that definitely poke the holes in there. Use that. I mean, you can't do it with ceramic. You can do it with plastic. I've gotten the drill out. How many's gotten a drill out for a planter outside, got the drill and poked the holes through? Has anybody done that? Anybody else?
You can even do it with ceramic. If you put water where you're drilling,
Yeah?
in fact, if you take like plasticine or putty or something, you make a ring,
Mm-hmm.
jam that onto the terracotta, fill it with water, go easy with the drill. You can do ceramic
Wow.
without cracking.
Wow. Or you could buy ceramic with holes on the bottom.
Well, yeah, when you get that really nice big cash po, you
That's
know,
what No, Michelle, I'm so glad you're here. You are such a wealth. She's gonna be with my partner next time. No, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Drill those holes, poke the holes. If you can't put the hole, put your corks, put your pebbles, put something so the plants are not sitting in water. They are not gonna do well. There's gonna be too much water going up and down. They're gonna be stressed out. They're not gonna be happy with you. They're really going to overwork themselves. There's gonna be what they call an imbalance. They're gonna say, it's too much water. I gotta release my gases. Where are my nutrients? It's not gonna be fun for them. All right? So definitely drill the hole. So I thought that was a good thing to show you that you have my permission to drill holes, to poke holes, to do that for your pots, okay? Again, this was $3.99. This was fun. So that's that. Now, just gonna check my time. 2 more things I'm gonna show you. Cuttings, which I love. This is one of my top 5 plants. This is my pathos, which I know a lot of folks, does anybody know what a pathos is? Has anybody seen this? They trail, they're very waxy. You can cut them. I cut this a couple of months ago, and you can just grow it in the water. So it rooted. This is in my office, Susie. So kind of had fun with this just because it was on. It was just kind of fun to pop. Say that again.
Mine is not rooting.
Really? I'm surprised. Is it pathos like this? And
I
it's
think
not
it
rooting?
is. I cut it 2 or 3, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks ago, and I don't see any root there.
Okay, I'm interested because this is something I cut. I don't know what this is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what this plant is. I didn't have time before I brought it here. This little vase. I cut this in December off this plant I have in my kitchen that my father gave me, and it's in water. It literally has barely rooted, but
it's alive.
Still alive.
Yeah,
it's amazing
Still
to
alive.
me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you that you can do this too.
Scented geraniums.
That's
will do
what
that.
I,
It won't
thank
root,
you,
but
Susie.
it'll do it.
That's what I love about plants. I was like, wow, this is so, what am I gonna do with this? Let me try it. This was an experiment for me. This was fun. This was fun. I thought I'd show you tonight. Not that I'm so great, but yes.
I'm sorry, I have one of those. I cut out a branch actually, I put it in my fish tank. And
What are
it's
these?
been growing, thriving in my fish tank.
Fish tank.
Wow. Does it come out the side?
Well, the
Do
way the fish tank is covered over the top, but the plant just, it's
Inside the water completely?
inside.
Which
And the
one?
fish
The
are
vase?
swimming around
In
it?
the vase?
Oh,
Or
you're
the
talking
other
about
one?
the pothos?
The one right there, the one
Yeah.
on the side. Yep,
Yeah,
right.
that's
This
not
is-
common.
Yeah, okay.
Those
That's
things
not
are really
uncommon.
good.
In
That
water,
is such a,
submerged in water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, the fish.
We have two turtles here at the library, and the fellow who is the head of the program, the head starting turtle program, he's got pothos in all of his turtle tanks for them to hide in.
Really, that is a great, thank you.
Floats around in it.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Very
thank you
cool.
so much. See, this is, again, our discussion, this is what I wanted. My goal for this evening was to introduce you to some of the things I've learned along the way and learn from you as well. So hopefully everyone's having a good time. It's a night out, it's a beautiful night out, it's not raining. The last one I'm gonna show you is my little fake out succulent. I bought this container at TJ Maxx, and it's great for succulents. So the more I research succulents, it's really not so great for succulents because succulents really want to be have the drainage, and there are no holes in the bottom of this. I'm not going to flip it over. So I really like it though with the succulents. So I wanted to tell you that I'm going to cheat a little. I put some stones. I have some stones here. So I put some stones here. So the succulent is going to have a little bit of drainage there. So it's going to be fine. And if it doesn't, it is what it is. I'll get two more fake ones. But I thought this pot was so cute. And this will go again on a counter, on a windowsill or something. We want direct sunlight, but we don't want the sun beating on it too. It's a desert plant, but you don't want it to burn either. So in the summer I would keep it in the sun, but if it's getting too much sun and you think it's getting too, it will actually retain water in its leaves, and you'll see if it starts to droop a little, it will need a drink. But really let it go dry, let it go dry. Have fun with it, but if it doesn't work out for you, they're very delicate when you transplant, so the leaves really break off easily. Go with the fakes. They're very popular right now in home decor. They're in every magazine. Has everybody seen these in magazines? They are everywhere. Am I right? They're everywhere. They're fabulous, but I think they're really faking everybody out because sometimes they can be a little challenge to have. They're great for outdoors. A lot of people will take them and put them outdoors, and you can bring them back in the winter time. So have fun with the succulents. But what I want to show you is that just the juxtaposition, the opposite effect of this. My little teacup, so you get a little succulent here, so I'm just going to put it in here because I think it looks better in here. So when I was transplanting last night, so I pulled it out and literally, very, very delicate, so I'm going to poke it in there. And I am not going to water this right away. I'm going to let this kind of sit there for a couple days and let it get acclimated to its new home. Actually, I should have spritzed it. I should have spritzed these roots before. So a little spritz. I forgot to do that, folks. Sorry. A little spritzer isn't working. So I should have just spritzed it a bit, put it in, and then let it settle in. Do not drown it. It's kind of stressed a bit. You want it to be happy. Use your spritzers. These are another great tool to have, and this will sit in. It should look really pretty in your home. I just love them. Again, go with the fake out. This is another one. This is an air plant. Has anybody heard of the air plants? Aren't they great? Is this so cute? It's fake. I can't let them grow. They die on me. Has anybody had success with an air plant?
Not long term.
Sue has.
I have.
You have. What's the tip?
Well,
Anything?
I have them in a glass, what do you do? I have
What?
mine in a glass terrarium, and then I spray them, that's it. That's how I water them.
Sue has luck.
Yeah.
But I have others that have problems.
It's what that plant is, except that's a fake one, but there are real ones that look
No
like that.
soil.
Oh, there's,
No
all
soil.
right.
Now, and here's the trick.
Have no luck with these.
It's an air plant, so what does it
Yep.
say?
Yep.
Right?
Here,
Takes the moisture from
Takes
the
the
air.
moisture, so it's the same thing with orchids. They don't wanna be in a lot of water. Why do orchids grow on a tree trunk, or why can you transplant them? So you don't want to overwater them, and you don't wanna fuss over them, or they don't like you. That's basically it, right?
But don't they also come from a climate that's moist?
They go from a tropical climate, but,
Yeah,
and
so-
so there's rain, but it's not pouring rain on top of them. It's in a rainforest that has a covering, a canopy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How often do you water them? Like once
Well,
a month?
I have a relationship with them. So this is
See?
the only way in my
She's
mind.
not, I didn't plant her.
So,
She told me she was
so
coming, I said, talk
I
about
can grow
orchids.
things people can't grow generally, and the things that people can grow, I generally can't grow. So the fussier they are and wine, I can grow them. So it's relationship, and what are you willing to do?
Uh-huh.
So for me, orchids are, you want sun, right? But you don't want sun, it depends. It just is gonna depend where it is. And so you don't want sun right away. You're gonna want sun part of and then it goes away. But you don't wanna move them around. So it's really, you don't wanna move them around. So they don't like to be moved around.
And what's the trick to getting them to come back?
So they come back, so depending on what orchid it is and what variety, and how it's planted, if it's root bound or not, okay, remember, it's gonna come back, it could come back once a year, and it can bloom for 3 months.
Yep.
If it's in the right environment, right? I have really good luck with my orchids. It may sleep for a year. It may change colors on its leaves, so they may not be always dark green. They may go into a lavender purple color. That's natural. It says, I'm really happy, right? So it doesn't mean to cut it off, but you gotta know them, and I feed
So you
them.
cut the stem off though?
Cut the stem off, and this is where my trick comes in, Susie, can I?
Yes,
So you're gonna cut the stem off, but you have these beautiful leaves that you
stem
love.
But not the.
the long
Get a
shoot that
silk
comes out.
orchid leaf, get a silk orchid flower. All right, I got this, I don't even know where I got this, maybe at Michael's. Has little clips like it's a real orchid. I put it, we'll just say this is an orchid, and I stick it in. So now it looks like my orchid is still blooming.
Then
That
I stick it
is
in
my-
the pot with the.
Stick it right in the pot.
Stick it right in.
Who's gonna know?
I know, cause I feel them.
She would know, don't invite Susie
The
over.
little plastic thing said to put 3 ice cubes in it once a week, and it still died.
It's,
Okay, well, so that's baloney.
Well,
They don't
it-
like to freeze, that's number one.
they actually, I agree with Susie, the thing is that you have to remember, you may say, when you mean it died, did the flower go off?
Well, I was hooked to it once a week, and it was my son's, and he was in the hospital, he didn't get there, I didn't get there every week to put it in, so it died on him, but.
So remember-
But while I was there, it was 3 ice cubes once a week, every Sunday I watered the orchid.
So you know why they're doing that? They don't want you to overwater. They want the ice
Slowly.
cube to
They're
melt
telling you, yeah.
slowly.
Yeah.
So you're not overwatering it. But I have great luck also plunging, so it depends. Some, it depends on relationship again and how you're familiar with them. I'm
Right.
familiar with them. So I will actually take my orchids, I'll plunge them in water, like a pot, like I do with my hibiscus trees. They go in plunging like a bucket of water. I pull them out, they drain. And then I may not do anything at all for 3 weeks.
So it's know your plant, again, it's know what
It's
they
knowing your
like.
plants.
It's having that knowledge, orchids bloom, and then like any other perennial, any other annual, the blooms fade away, they're going dormant, they're going to sleep. You're not gonna have 24/7 blooms, you're not gonna have them all year. It's like any other plant that's growing outside. So I love the idea that you came with the orchids, because I know there were gonna be some orchid questions, and I said to Susie, you have to help me out with the orchid questions.
Yeah, and there's bromeliads. I mean, there's the ones that you see that have like the big iris type of leaf, and then these big, huge. They're huge. They're gorgeous, right? But they can get mold, and they can get other things. So you have to have the right climate. And if they're finicky, you just have to say, do I want a finicky plant? If you don't, they're not for you. Right?
Orchids are the Italian and English race cars
They totally
of
are.
plants.
And so are gardenias. And gardenias
So
are
when
too.
you meet orchid people, they're passionate about
All tea.
The pothos is like the Mazda, you
Yeah.
know, or the Toyota Tercel. And pothos is the Toyota Tercel or the Chevy Nova of plants,
Oh, all right.
okay?
So it's what you feel comfortable with,
Right.
okay? What you want to learn and what you want to spend your money on too. You know, yeah. Question?
A couple of things on orchids. If you plant them in a clear pot,
You can see,
okay, you can tell when they need water
absolutely.
because their roots will be brown.
There you go.
When you water an orchid, the roots turn green.
White. Oh, they turn
They
green.
turn green.
Great tip.
Because what they are, the orchid root is really a very thin, wiry thing. And it's surrounded by spongy material, and that's what takes the water up.
Probably the root hairs,
So
maybe.
when-
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it goes gray, you need water.
Oh, that's great.
And also, you should never repot it into just a little bit bigger pot, if you really wanna repot it.
Yes.
It should only be a little bit bigger.
I actually have heard that as well.
The
That
minimum.
is true.
Yes.
Because you don't wanna have a lot of soil in there.
Yeah.
The soil holds water
They don't
and
want
it'll
it.
kill the plant.
Got it.
And they don't like it. It's
No,
like
they don't
clivias,
like
like we were
it.
talking about clivias, you can't make them bloom unless they're crowded, they're not gonna bloom for you.
Great.
Right.
So they wanna be root bound tight together and then go,
Right.
oh, now we'll bloom.
Yeah.
You know, so.
All right.
We can't do
We're gonna share our tips in a second. I'm just gonna finish up if that's okay with everybody. I told you my top 5 plants. The Sansevieria, which is that mother-in-law's tongue, or the snake plant. It's very tall and spiky. I've got a picture of it here if anybody. The spath, which I love, my ivy, my Boston fern. I don't have one here, but they are fabulous. Does everyone know what Boston fern is? You know, those ferny. I buy them at Stop and Shop every year and put them on my deck, and I get probably about 6 hours of sunlight on that deck in my backyard, and actually thrives all summer outside. Rarely any care for it. It's fabulous. I have not had luck when I bring it in, so that's where I get my silk Boston ferns, and they look fabulous all year. But I love the Boston fern. It's just so classic. It's so beautiful, and again, it just looks beautiful on a deck. I just love it. Best websites that I have found. There's probably so many out there. GardeningKnowHow.com, phenomenal. It answers whatever you plug in, it will answer your question. It's easy to navigate, I loved it. So GardeningKnowHow.com, they'll answer every question, houseplants, outdoor plants, landscaping, everything. I thought it was great. Again, there's so many out there, I'm not gonna list a lot of them. And there's another one called espoma.com. And as I was looking at that website, it answered a couple questions for me, and then I realized my potting soil is from espoma. I thought there was a snorkel. So,
How do you
yeah,
spell that?
espoma, espoma.com. Fabulous website. Loved it. I told you my favorite book is this one, Houseplant Survivor Manual, but again, we're at the library, we've got so many books here. Please look at them and take them home again. If if you're a gadget person, absolutely go online. And then, let me see if I've covered all my notes. I hope I've showed you some new things tonight. What would anybody like to share with the group? I mean, anything, Michelle?
I just want to quickly say, if anybody wants to try growing some indestructible houseplants from cuttings, I routinely prune the plants in the library here, and I throw those cuttings away. So if anybody wants to try any of the plants that you see in this library, I am more than happy to give you cuttings.
That's
wonderful.
Indefinitely.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm the reference librarian here. I take care of the plants, although I haven't been doing that for the last couple of months, and now I'm trying to atone for my sins. But
They're not mad at you.
well, yeah, everybody's being repotted at the moment, but I'm cutting all of this stuff off, and it's just getting pitched.
Okay.
So
What's your name, that, so we could ask
oh,
for it?
Michelle.
Michelle?
Michelle. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we have the pothos. We have the plant you're calling the arrow plant.
Yes, yes.
We have grape ivy, we have dracenias upstairs that I'm planning to cut,
They're
to
pretty
try
good,
and
yep,
prune
yep.
them down. That giant fiddle leaf fig that's up there, every now and again I cut the tips off of that and root that, and I give those away.
You can root
Awesome.
that?
Oh, yes.
I have a
Oh, yes.
14-foot fiddlehead in my loft.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of, I've had
So you
really
need to
good luck
root
with it.
them.
But the pothos, my God, we have bushels of it in the staff room now. we have bushels-
Indestructible.
And if anybody wants to know, all of the pothos you see in the library, all of it came from a single plant that was owned by Michelle, the former children's
Oh,
librarian here.
really? Oh, what a wonderful
It was a plant-
legacy.
It was a plant that she had in the children's room, and that they're all descended from that plant.
That's wonderful.
So.
Thank
anyway.
you. Any other tips anybody wants to share, or, yes?
It's not pretty, but, and a low plant is necessary in every household, because every time you burn yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, absolutely.
Cut off a
Absolutely.
little,
That's what I
just
done.
break
I
off
killed.
some.
I killed one of those.
Yeah,
I don't think she should have
No
plants. I think
water.
you should go silk.
Don't
No, I think
water
she
it.
should go
Don't
silk.
water
No,
it.
I'm teasing,
And I
I'm
have one
teasing.
of those succulent things, I've only got one cactus, everything else died.
You're You're going
You know what,
fake.
you
I
don't-
agree
you
with
don't
the
love
aloe.
fake.
Fabulous to
You
have.
love something.
And it's fun to have too.
Well, I'm trying.
They are, my grandmother swore by her aloe plants. And she again was that
Aloe
African
is
violet woman,
fabulous.
African violet who
They're-
just loved
They
them.
are tough.
That's a great tip. African violet, just to talk about that, plant, water that one from the bottom. Okay. Yeah, anything with hairy leaves, anything like that, you wanna water from the bottom, you know, like say you have a little plate like this, put the water in here and it will actually suck the water. Another tip I wanted to say, again, it's classic, but you may not remember, you water something and it's sitting in water all day, please dump the water out. All right, we do not want these plants sitting in water, it's not healthy. I mean, again, we're talking about, you know, after the African violet, the water's been maybe there for an hour, you wanna get your little tray, dump it out, okay? You don't want them sitting in the water because again, they're saying, what's going on? There's too much water here. I can't function. All right, dump the water out. Again, you might see some, it looks like some crystals, some salts because the nutrients from the soil and the plants are leaching out. You don't want the salt to once the water evaporates, the salt's gonna stay on your tray. Rinse the salts away as well, all right? You might see salt accumulating on the top here, okay? Give them a good rinsing, flush them out, bring them into the tub, into your sink, use your sprayer, get those salts out, let it dry out. You wanna get them released, they're not healthy for your plant. They're naturally occurring because they're drying from the water, their evaporation, so get rid of the salts. So I just wanna make sure you knew that. Again, you might wanna keep some pebbles on this too, that keeps everything a little humid. If you wanna keep, they're decorative as well, on your little tray, you keep some pebbles, and then this could sit on the pebbles, so it's not in the water. It might look even prettier than having, you know, little dirt stains on your tray. So those little tips on that one. Anything else?
Also, African violets will drink, once you do them from the bottom, they'll drink as much as they want, and then whatever the water is left, that's what you get rid of.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, they go, I'm done.
Yeah, when they're,
And that's
yeah,
within
exactly.
like 10, that's 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah,
they're done.
exactly. Just get rid of that water. Do not let them sit. Be good to them. You wouldn't want to sit in water all day, would you?
Sure.
If you're, all right, yeah. With my wine, so I can use a
Bathtub.
cork for my.
Yes. Totally.
You guys have been great. I want to talk plans for the